I'm really delighted to get a chance to meet you because one of the things that I've found, Jeffrey, in whenever I watch a television program or a movie, it's how quickly you can get me from zero to caring.
Mhm.
And I was so impressed because the trailer that you have for Pursued is so powerful, and I was able to get to caring so quickly. And that's and I know for you to be able to take a trailer of something that you've done. So let's take a look at the trailer together, and then
Yeah.
we can talk about it afterward. Would you please?
Makes sense.
Everything's gonna change.
I'm so happy that you appreciate this time in your life.
It's the third time that Mark and I have gone out, and he has a place in the mountains.
You don't even know this guy.
I do know him, and he's a really fantastic kisser.
Oh, Mom.
I checked out that Mark friend guy. He's like giving this woman a really hard time online. You gotta check it out. He's like threatening her.
Oh my God.
You all will be graduating soon. If you hang out with troublemakers, there will be trouble.
Can I talk to you for a minute? I might know the identity of a man who murdered a woman. He deleted everything. There's no proof to back any of this up.
Chris, he's tapping! What the hell has gotten into you? Let me out of here!
Follow my lead.
This is another one of Lark's larks. After seeing what I saw tonight, if someone had done that to me, you would pursue it.
Now what do we do?
Where are you going?
To kill that mother.
Was there something you wanted to tell me? Was there something you wanted to tell me?
That's him, the one that killed Sarah. Oh my God.
I know what street you live on.
Was there something you wanted to tell me?
I know what your house looks like. And at this very moment, I am your worst nightmare. This is going to be so much fun.
It would be damn near impossible to beat you. Unless, of course, I had a friend.
You think I can handle you, little man?
Think I can handle you?
Daisy, you're all nice and
I was watching you to watch your expressions, knowing all the work that it goes to put into this. What was going through your mind this time from the 786th time you have looked at this, and you've gone through, and of course the many more thousands of times that you went through all of the films and this to do? What was going through your mind today?
That is a great question. I think I was actually looking at it now that we're so close to having the film premiere on Prime. Is on Prime Video is on October 10th.
Yes.
Is that I was imagining it as a general audience member who had interest in seeing the film, and when they watch the trailer, what are they thinking, and more importantly to me, what are they feeling?
Beautiful. And that's it. Did you were you able to give yourself enough emotional distance that you could actually experience it that way? A little bit. I mean, that's the fun thing, to try to do that.
I think so. I got tensed up at times when I watch it, and I get lost in the story. I don't mean lost in the story like confusion. I mean, I get absorbed in, and I feel like, oh wow, what's she gonna do now? Or wow, how bad a guy is this if he's eating a tarantula? And so I when I find myself doing that, I'm feeling like it's working.
One of the things that I'm very much I believe that like the Dalai Lama says, is that the world is going to be saved by the Western woman. And I love the power that she has. I love her standing up. I love the sense that we're seeing her grow into at 18, and then grow into her own grow into her own self and her own power. So this has a lot of metaphorical, including actual sense to me about what was going on.
Yes, and what's interesting about that, Dennis, is the way we start the story in the film is she's 15, and then something is traumatic in her life and her family.
That's Buffy. That's Buffy's at 15. She's at 15. It's, oh, how beautiful.
That's right. And then we quickly see her at 17. You know, I almost called the film, I mean, it's called Pursued, which is the perfect title, right? But
Exactly.
I almost called the film 17 because this all happens to her when she's 17. But Pursued's the better title. But it just, I always kind of thought, yeah, that's the awakening in her. She's Madison Lawler plays the lead of Lark. And I just felt that Madison really just took this role and made it her own. And I was always so impressed with her you know, finding that sense of justice and you know, unfortunately in the movie, I mean, the story, she just goes a little too far in the righteousness and the vigilanteism, and it's interesting themes, I think.
Exactly. And how far, I mean, that's what we're learning at 17. And we're learning that because this is all part of a growth process.
Right.
How soon from the time she first walked in to where you said, that's it? That's why.
You know, it wasn't immediate, and that's not because I mean, she's a great actress, so it wasn't her
right.
acting.
But you have to look at it. You have to look at it. You're talking about so many different moving parts to be able to see. Somebody can be an astonishing and amazing actor and just be, this is just not the fit where we can have at this moment.
Yeah, no, I wanted to sleep on it. It wasn't like she's the one absolutely. Looking back on it, she was the one absolutely.
Oh, that's hindsight.
That's right. That's right. But I had seen 100 young women, and so I'm every time I see someone, I'm comparing it to maybe someone I saw 3 days earlier, and then she just started growing on me. It wasn't like she was fitting the part of Lark perfectly. She did, but at the time it was more like, oh, I see traits in her, in Madison, that I would actually adapt Lark to, because Madison had a certain kind of swagger about her. I didn't necessarily see Lark having swagger, but Madison did. So now Lark did. You know,
how wonderful. So as a director, and as a writer, because both being the writer and the director, you get a chance to be able to see this story grow as you experience that, correctly?
That's right. That's right. I keep it like what they say about the Constitution, a living, breathing document. You know, that's how I look at the script. I look at it like a script needs to keep changing every day, if not every hour, in pre-production and post. Well, while the script's being written, pre-production, production, and Dennis, for me, even in post, I'm changing things in the script in post after we've shot the movie, because I may add insert shots, or I may cut something, or add a voiceover to keep it always alive and keep it fresh.
All right, so you got this. So as you're building this cast together, now you're going to have to have the chemistry that it works here. And so you got an opportunity to bring Molly Ringwald on, right? Which is an extraordinary get.
Well, I thought so. I mean, I went for Molly, just thinking, oh my God, she was the iconic teenager in the 80s. She still is. She still is iconic and a great actress. And I love those John Hughes films and the rest that she made. And the idea that Lark, I'm trying to make a quintessential teenage experience that she was having, but it goes off the rails for her. And I thought to have Molly Ringwald play her mother was just fantastic for me.
Talk about meta. I mean, that's.
I know, exactly. Exactly. And she was so wonderful to work with. And when I got the phone call saying she agreed to fly out from New York and be in the movie, I couldn't believe it.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. And so that it became, as it became going together. All right. And so you start shooting the film, and what are you learning about the show? What are you learning about this? And of course, you got a chance to one of my favorites, Paul Sorvino, which is while you got a chance to bring him on.
I did.
And what an extraordinary opportunity to be able to do that too.
Totally. Well, Paul was amazing to work with because he just brought that whole breadth of experience with him. And we kind of know Paul Sorvino, in film lore, right?
Yeah.
History of film, that he's that he's such a part of, that we think of him as kind of the tough guy.
Yeah.
And in this film, he plays grandpa, and his scenes he's just so natural. He's so natural, and you really feel like you're just watching some grandpa caring about his granddaughter, and his granddaughter's friend Lark, who he tells us a really heartwarming story to, that makes Lark tear up, and we're very lucky to have had Paul.
God, how wonderful. Because you have directed so much and you have written so much, and as you're on the set, as you're watching this come, are you feeling something? Do you get a sense of, wait a minute, this is a really important opportunity in my life, in my career, in the lives, and this thing is happening?
Yes and no. It's complex for me, because
that's what I'm asking for. I'm not asking for a simple answer. I'm asking for open it up, doctor, and show and let's look at all the inside parts.
Well, the thing is that I wrote the script based on my producing partners and story partners idea, Peter A. Lydell, and we've done a number of films together. And Pete came to me about this story idea he had, and then I started developing it with Peter, and so I'm the writer. I'm always thinking every day like the writer, but then I have to move into directing, and now that's competing with the writing in many ways. And then I'm also the producer with Peter. And so now I have other interests on the set besides just writing and directing. I have a great production staff, great production team. I mean, we were many people, but it is to do all three of the roles are competing. So when I'm on the set and I'm watching this all come together, and I'm believing, like what you're saying, wow, this is great for me, and it's great for the cast, and it's great for the crew, and we're going to come out with this, and millions of people, hopefully, right, will watch the movie and enjoy it. Well, while that's all happening and I'm taking it in, I'm also thinking about what I just shot, and I'm looking at the rushes, and I'm thinking of what's coming up in the shoot that I have to make some decisions on, again, with great partners, but it's just there's so much happening that it's tough to fully take in the moment.
Oh, totally. I mean, you're the producer, so you're thinking here is like the clock is ticking. You know that the money is going out, that you have so much on what we have. We have so many shooting days. You have to work all that. There's so much that you're having to do in order to do that. It's an extraordinary process. So when did you know, okay, enough cuts, I'm finished, it's a wrap, I'm ready to go? Because that to me is one of the difficult things to say, that when enough is enough.
Do you mean, Dennis, when I'm in the editing room, do I feel like we've done everything we need to do?
Exactly.
So we're looking for picture lock, right? That's what it's called, right? We're waiting to say we lock it. And once we lock it, that triggers a lot of different things. So we have to, right? So we have, because music starts and sound effects and dialogue cutting and so many things start that we can't, when we say picture lock, that's it. We don't go back. And so, you know, I hold off on that as long as I can. But of course, time is money, and every day we're in the editing room is costing more. And so there's the pressure of finishing. But we just felt that at a certain point we had screened it enough. People come to the editing room, we've screened it, put together little tiny screenings, get input. And then on one certain day, whenever it was, we said, well, are we all good? And we all kind of, you know, the editing team and the producing team, yeah, we go, are we good? Was there anything we needed to do or wanted to do more? And we go, no. Now we move into further post with sound and music and all that. But that day is a day to celebrate.
Yeah.
It's a day to celebrate, for sure.
Absolutely. You've taught for so many years. You taught at USC. You got a chance to be. I mean, you're passing this along. What did you learn about yourself as an artist during this particular process in the growth of your own self and your own work?
Wow, what a great question. You know, I think it was Thomas Jefferson who said, when you read a book for the first time, you learn about the characters, the characters and the story. When you read that same book a second time, you learn more about yourself. So I look at through the prism of that idea. And, you know, so for the movie, what I learned is one thing as a writer director. I don't usually learn a lot more as a producer because I've done this a lot. And once you kind of know the principles of producing, you just follow those same principles, right? But as a writer and director, it's always
it's a blank canvas each time.
Canvas. Right. So as a filmmaker, I'm learning a bunch about how I feel as a writer director. As a person, if I'm getting your question right, as a person, I'm learning about myself. Wow, I'm ready to start examining that now. I don't know that I have, but it makes me certainly want to write the next script and get in there again and do something different and challenge myself even more. And I mean, I do love Pursuit. I do love this film. I think it works on so many levels. I think the cast is extraordinary, and you know, I'll tell you one thing I learned, not to go on and on about this. I'll tell you one thing I learned. People said to me, oh, you put an MMA fighter, Misha Tate, in this thriller? Why would you do that? Why would you write all of a sudden there's an MMA fighter? How does that work in your thriller? And then the tarantula scene, how does that work? Why are you kind of making it like a horror film when it's not a horror film, it's a thriller? And I said, yeah, I'm going to do it anyway. I don't have a good answer why I'm doing that, but I think it's cool. And when the footage came in, we had it, and Misha's so great in it as Drea, and Angus is so threatening as Mark Frank, and the tarantula scene. I learned to have more faith in myself, that maybe I just have to feel like my gut feeling is good enough, and that I don't have to always put it through asking the 23 people that I ask. I should keep asking, but then just go with my gut feeling, not on what the majority said. My team was great. They always kind of led me in the right direction.
But to have that gut feeling, to be able to have that trust, to be able, I mean, I love what you just expressed, that balance of having an open ear, but and an open heart, and at the same time, finally saying, okay, now we're going, here is the place where I'm going to go, and I'm going to step forth into that good night.
Right. That's right.
That is extraordinary.
Thank you, Dennis.
Tell me about filmmaking in 2025 with all of the new technologies that are coming on board, and as you're looking forward to, of course, this is going to premiere on October 10th on Prime Video, and we're going to be able to see, and you're going to be able to get it out there. As you're looking forward, what do you see that the new technologies and all the opportunities and challenges that are going to be coming out there for both independent filmmakers and for whatever it's going to look like?
Yeah, great question. Well, the biggest difference from when I first started making movies is the biggest difference is that there's a democratization when it comes to everybody being able to make a film. When I first started making films, you had to have the big cameras, and you had to have the big editing machines, and you had to have the, everything. And now some young person, they don't even have to be young. They can be my age. Thank you, Dennis. That's it. Soderbergh loves shooting on an iPhone.
I know.
I mean, you can take your iPhone, make a feature film on it, have the music done all synth, no orchestra. I mean, I love an orchestra, don't get me wrong, but you can do that. You can have the title design from a computer, do all the digital editing for post in the computer. You can actually make the film just homegrown, and somebody just anywhere in the world.
Yes.
With the iPhone can go ahead and make their feature film, and it can be brilliant. And that's the biggest difference. And the biggest challenge, I think, and I think it is a challenge coming up, is AI. Obviously, AI has so many advantages to it, probably medically and things like that. And there's a lot of
biggest technology in the history of humanity, certainly maybe even on Earth, as even from the primordial ooze going up. This changes everything.
It does, and I worry about stories being created out of AI. I don't love that idea, and I don't think that's going to work, because I think what makes a good script, a good film, is the humanity behind it. And I don't know how much humanity is going to come out of AI. Can it be learned and programmed? I guess so. I'm not an expert in any of that stuff, but
no.
As a matter of fact, I try to stay away from anything to do with AI. I certainly like it for a medical thing. If they say we can detect cancer in lightning speed 20 years before it's going to happen because of AI, it's like, great. I think that's a great idea.
Exactly.
But if it's like AI has come up with just the best idea for a love story, it's like, yeah, I'd rather a person wrote that.
When has AI been in love? Because unless you've actually experienced it, how can you actually have the authenticity?
Right. No, that is great. Actually, that would be a great T-shirt, Dennis, that says, "When has AI been in love?" Wow. I mean, it says it all, right?
When I found this shot, I was blown away, because this shot, I felt, showed so much about where we are today in the world. I love the intensity of these two, and you see Madison's active process. She's so involved and so engaged, and Taylor, I mean, she's dubious and wondering. I mean, this shot tells me so much. Jeffrey, could you talk about it?
Yeah, sure. I agree with you. I think this is really the essence of what the film is about. You have Madison Lawlor, who's playing Lark, with that look on her face at the screen, like ready to take action. And you've got Taylor Blackwell, who is such a great actress. And she is, like, in a way, our reliable narrator. She is the one that's watching everything with that Lark is doing here with enticing the killer to come out, and they think they're anonymous, right? That the killer doesn't know. And Taylor's look on that picture, right, was you're not gonna actually send, this is a joke, right? You're not gonna send, and Lark does send it. And
her certitude, Jeffrey, she has that absolute, that's only at 17 can you be so absolutely certain of your own righteousness, and we can do this, and there's nothing that can stop us.
That is correct. And I know, we're being distributed by a wonderful company called Indie Rights, Linda Nelson.
Yes.
And when she said, pick some pictures that really represent the film that we can get at, when I looked at that picture, the one you picked there, it was like, wow, that is the essence. And when we shot it, it was pretty intense. I think it was pretty late at night when we shot that. And it was just, everybody was, the crew, we were just all very quiet, because what was going on with Lark and Nicole was just, so we just let them play. We just kind of, I'm not a director that like wants to keep cutting and saying, let's do it over again. It's digital, so it's a lot easier than it was with film. It's a lot easier to just let that camera roll.
The big reels.
That's right. And so expensive, but with digital, it doesn't cost anything to just let it roll and see what you get.
But the lighting, to be able to have those cameras that could do this kind of subtle lighting, rather than having to overdrive and do day for night and all the things that you would need to do. What a gift as a production designer and as a DP to be able to have that.
Oh yeah, and my production designer Jody Jennifer, just always, when we got to a set and we saw it for the first time, we just loved what she would do. And then Ben Pizer, our director of photography, always came up with this mood. Whatever was the case, he figured out the mood of it. And I had such trust in the two of them.
Jeffrey, what is on in your windshield coming from now and October the 10th on?
Meaning,
what do you think? What itches? Because that's one of the things that so compels me meeting you, is that I see you as a work in progress.
Oh yeah.
That excites me, because that gives me, at 77, I get a chance to be able to say, yep, I've got younger people who are out there jumping on it and jumping into this and saying, yes, I'm open-minded, I'm open-hearted, and I'm ready to get the next thing.
Yes.
So what's going to scratch your itch?
For future projects, I actually have 4 projects that I am working on with different writers, and I'm writing them too. And so I go back and forth. I've got a new one that I'm very excited about in the thriller genre. And then I kind of wrote like a rom-com too, that's almost done, that I'm really enjoying, and can't wait to finish it and get it out there and see if anybody wants to come on board with me. And then I even had an idea that I haven't yet talked about with Peter, my partner, about Pursued 2. I sort of am flirting with the idea of writing a draft of what a sequel would be, because I really love the characters. And again, Madison, Molly, Misha, Sam Trammell is in the movie. I've neglected to mention, Sam is fantastic. He is one hell of an actor, and he's kind of really a lot of the heart of the movie.
He plays the teacher, right? In that,
yes, he does, and he just nails it.
Wonderful.
I wrote the teacher part because I've done a lot of teaching in my life, and then Joel Courtney is fantastic. I mean, his career is really blown up. He is great, and he plays Lark's boyfriend
Right.
slash ex-boyfriend slash boyfriend, however you want to look at
He has
it.
a lot of range, doesn't he? He can play that.
He does, and he's a fantastic guy, and he just really committed to the role. He just really committed to it.
How wonderful. Well, Jeffrey, what have we not on this first time getting a chance to talk with you? And I don't know, I don't know my expiration date, and I don't know how long I'll be on the planet, but goodness gracious, I would love to have another conversation with you
Me too.
as you're continuing to do this. But tell me for this particular opportunity, what have we not talked about that you want to make sure that's on your mind or heart today?
That's such a great question. Again, how many times have I said to you, that's a great question?
Well, you can, every time you say it, I just go, yes.
Well, yeah, no, definitely. I think I'd like to say something about Pursued. I have done a lot of scary movies in different genres. I started with slasher, then it went to supernatural, then it went to creature. I did the Kindred with Rod Steiger, the Academy Award-winning Rod Steiger. I mean, younger people don't really know who he is, but film buffs do, and people who are older know. Just an extraordinary actor. And I did a Bram Stoker piece, and I did Servants of Twilight, which was a Dean Koontz book, and so I've done a real range of pictures. But in Pursued, I really liked mixing the genre up a little bit to have. You don't know if you're watching a thriller. You're not sure if it's coming of age. You find then there's swaths of horror. There's a heavy dose of suspense, and I'm trying to take the audience on a ride. I'm trying to make sure that every 12 minutes that's the way I was taught. I was taught, every 12 minutes, try to put something in that grabs the audience member. Mm-hmm. And I'm really trying to make it's not like, oh, here's a story I want to tell. That's okay. I love when people do that. For me, I'm trying to figure out a story that I think people will enjoy.
Got it. And one of the things that I'm so impressed about your movie is that it's a lot like life, because that's what life is. Life is suspense and comedy and challenges and opportunities, and it's much more that than just forcing it into a genre.
That's right. That's how I look at it too.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Yeah. Thank you, Dennis.
It's a pleasure to meet you, and it's a pleasure to get an opportunity to be able to learn about you and to be inspired by you.
Thank you, Dennis. I really appreciated this.